The 2024 supernatural horror psychological thriller film that is The Watchers, and the film begins with the introduction of one of the men, or the hiker, I may say, that we can see in the forest now. And in the forest, he is haunted by the group of evil spirits or so-called creatures, that is the Watchers. And near the board where it is written that you cannot go. So near that board, he is now gone, and now the film focus shift towards the introduction of our protagonist character, that is the Mina, a very talented but a very craving artist, and she is traveling to the Irish wilderness for some time away from the chaos of her life, and now she really hopes that the isolation of the forest will help her cope with the trauma of losing her family in a car accident. While she just try to be her makeup things and all, we see that she has put up some kind of wig, that is not a true hair. That is what just spooked me out, because that those hairs were really beautiful. Now Mina sets up camp in a remote area and determined to focus on her art, but her solitude soon turns kind of ominous. The forest with its thick trees and kind of ominous stillness feels alive with the unsettling energy. As the night approaches, the silence is broken by strange sound in the distance, because her car is kind of stuck in that forest right now, because the journey begins with her car. The opening really establishes the psychological tension of the film, as we as a audience is just introduced to the central theme of the movie, that is related to these watchers kind of thing, the evil spirits, the evil creatures that are just kind of preying like a predator on human, and we acting like as a prey. So it's kind of a metaphor here. And Mina's first night in the forest sets her tone of the film's atmosphere, because as she rests in her cabin, strange figures appear at the edge of the trees watching her from the shadows. At first, Mina assumes is as a kind of imagination playing tricks on her, but as the figures just grow bolder and closer, they appear closer, and then she realizes that that is not her imagination, and she is not alone in that whole of the forest. The creatures are called the Watchers here, and they are just humanoid figures. Personally, when I saw them, they are like the Slender Man, if you know that, a very tall figure, and very skinny but very heighted kind of figure, like Silent Head or Slender Man. So they appear like that for reference point. They kind of look humanoid, but they are really unearthly creatures in their appearance, and remaining just outside the edge of her sight. The presence is felt rather than seen, and they provoke her by their mere existence, frightening the Mina's sense of isolation. The scene introduces the central antagonist of the film, the Watchers, that are the mysterious entities that are lurking in that forest, that are preying on humans by observing them in the kind of silence, almost like a supernatural predator, and we as a prey. The threat is not physical at first, but kind of psychological, setting the stage for the horrors to follow in this film, or unfold in this film as the film progresses forward. The following morning, Mina encounters three other people that are introduced in this film, the other characters, and that is Kiara, Madeline, and Daniel. So I remember when I saw Kiara, I have seen her somewhere else, and then I remember she is the one from the 2022 thriller film Barbarian. So I got that right. And these three characters are also lost in the forest, and they share their experience of being stalked by the Watchers and reveal what they too have been struggling to survive under this very difficult and hazardous situation. These strangers have been in woods for an extended period of time, as you can really see, they know because they know more than Mina, so their knowledge of the forest to just survive despite their shared plight. Tensions just quickly rise as the group argues over how to deal with the Watchers, because everyone was having different idea and thinking different way to tackle this difficult situation. So Mina is initially just hesitant to trust the group, but she realizes quickly that they are their only hope for the survival, because if they form the team, there will be more chances of survival for them. And the group members are each dealing with their own traumas, which is revealed gradually throughout the film as the film progresses. Madeline, which is old lady's character right here in particular, has spent kind of very much years in this forest, and she is the most experienced person among the group, and who holds information about the Watchers or the evil creatures through her motivation remains very much unclear. As night falls, the group gathers in a rundown cabin they have refuge in, and the tension really escalates. Outside, the watchers make their presence known and move silently throughout the trees, and the group tries to keep as much as possible to keep quiet, not to get noticed, but the psychological pressure is just mounting on them, and so they attempt to barricade to leave themselves, and strange noise echoes from the wood. So they believe that the creatures are just outside of and watching and just waiting for them, and the fear of watchers is compounded by the kind of realization they had that they cannot escape the forest easily because it's really hard to get unnoticed, and with no clear way out to get out of the forest right there. The group dynamics just shift, and the kind of the fear or the paranoia begins to take hold upon it, and there are many questions that arises in the minds of these people. They really don't know the direction that what to do, whom to trust, and who might already be one of the watchers. So it's really difficult situation. The scene reveals that the real danger may not only be the creature that lurks throughout the forest that are outside, but also the unraveling mental states of the group of the each person or the person's thinking ideology as they begin to question each other's motive because they are unknown. So at the starting of the movie when they first meet, and the psychological terror just builds upon as the scenes progresses, the watchers feed off their fears and confusion that kind of amplify the horror in the air. So the next day the group tries to piece together more information about the watchers to gather more information through a series of kind of a flashbacks and the conversation they had with each other. The Mina learns that watchers are not any kind of ordinary creature that are just kind of hunting them. They are the ancient entities that are tied to forest because they are in the forest, and forest is their kind of a home, capable of just mimicking any human form. As I said, they just look kind of a humanoid figure, so they exist to observe and study humans as if they are some kind of alien intelligence or what. And the watcher's behavior is tied to the group's psychological mind states, and more they fear they exhibit, the stronger the watcher becomes. So fear of the group's person is the one main kind of a what you can say the power it gets for the watcher to dominate them. And the group discovers a journal from the previous occupant of the cabin where we can see a professor's video, and it's all documents have been playing, who has been studying the watchers for I don't know how many years, because that seems like a lot of study is taken by the professor on them. The professor research just uncovered the horrifying truth that the watchers have the ability to imitate people from the memories of their victim. So they just use the memories of the victim to do so, and bringing their dead back to life in a kind of a twisted form. So this revelation set the stage for the group descent into a very kind of chaos and hazardous situation as they realize that no one is left to be trusted fully, because this is the thing where the game just turns on, because the dead people can be back brought to the life. So it is really a difficult situation, whom to trust and whom not to trust. So as the group presses on, they attempt to find a kind of way to escape to the forest, and Mina and the others navigate the kind of the terrain they pass there. Constantly they are pursued by the watchers or the creature. Their journey becomes a kind of battle against both the creatures and the inner demon that are present in them, because that is their fear. And Mina in particular struggle with her guilt, or sorry, with her grief over her family's death. That is what she is having a fear of, she is haunted with. That is the emotional memory breakdown of her, which is significant emotional burden that. And I told you that watcher just exploit this kind of fear. So each member of the group is faced with personal challenges that reveal their weakness and kind of fears, and the watchers exploit these vulnerabilities, causing further rifts between them. I think this section of the film showcases the group's fight for survival, and with each character kind of grappling with both external threats and the inner kind of their fear they are dealing with. The watchers are not just hunting them physically, but they are just kind of feeding off their characters and unresolved emotional pain, kind of grief that the characters are having, mental torture and breakdown, and pushing them even closer to the madness where they can take the full control of them. And a pivotal twist occurs when the group really uncovers the true nature of Madeline, that is the old lady's character. It is revealed that she is not kind of entirely human, so it's really strange. So she has been living in the forest for decades, or I don't know how many time. It's just a very very long time, and her human form having died long ago. So Midland is a challenging a creature that is created by the watcher itself. So it is the main plot twist in this movie, which kind of add another layer of complexity to the narrative of the story. And she has been playing both the sides, attempting to manipulate the group to serve her own mysterious. This revelation just sent a kind of a very shockwave through the group of the members, as the group member realizes that one of them has been living among them as a kind of impostor and conveying the message between the two of the parties. So the twist complicates the group dynamics and shifts the balance of the power. So the revelation just forces Mina to confront her own vulnerabilities and the idea that she might not be able to trust anyone further after this, and even those who have seemingly shared her pain. So this really kind of create a drift or a barrier between uh, the belief that she could just trust anyone after this incident. As the tension peaks, the group faces the full wrath of the Watcher, that is, the full group of the Watchers, or this creature just launch a kind of full assault, forcing the group into a last ditch effort to escape, to fight back at the last moment of the time, and the survivors are pushed to the limits as they confront the Watcher in a series of very kind of intense, very kind of hard claustrophobic encounters. And in this moment, the psychological thriller element and the horror element just reaches its top peak as the survivors are faced with a life or death kind of decision making step that is present at the last moment of the time. They are forced to come to terms with their fears and trauma that they are dwindling with Mina, and ultimately realizing that she must face the memories of her family's death, because that is what she is just growling with. She is just beginning with. She is just having that one in her mind, and that is the fear and that is the grief of her in order to survive. And the climax of the film is a violent and kind of a desperate escape attempt by each and every member of the group. So Mina, with the help of the remaining survivors, make a final push towards freedom, but not all of them can make it alive, because the creatures won't make it to do so. So the Watchers continue to pursue relentlessly in this kind of the cat and mouse chase, and the group's ultimate goal is to escape the forest, so they get rid of this thing. But this proves to be a hollow victory, as the true cost of survival just became apparent, and the films really conclude ambiguously, leaving various several questions unanswered. Mina, having survived, is seen boarding to boat to leave the island, but as she looks backward at the forest, she sees the Watchers standing in the distance, and there are a bunch of them because the group is present right there. And the character of Daniel dies here. That is, I think, a boyfriend of Kiara. So you can see that the one of the member is just dead right there. The camera lingers on that figure, hinting that maybe that is the threat that is far from over. And the open-ended nature of the conclusion leaves the audience questioning whether the Mina's escape is permanent or if the Watchers will continue to haunt them or not. And it also raises the question about the forest deeper connection to ancient force, hinting at the possibility of the future horrors beyond the film that confines. Its true nature just remains shrouded in a kind of mystery, and the final shot suggests that their ability to replicate and observe may be ongoing or eternal cycle, because in the very very last scene of the movie we see that the protagonist character is just kind of a safe, and we see the Madeline is present in the, I think, small body's child, and she is looking at the house in the last moment where the protagonist is there, so indicating that the story might continue from there, so it's kind of open-ended ending, so there is no proper ending, so there are many interpretation of the film that are left to the audience, so we can think and maybe kind of analyze that what may happen in the future. So this is a very layered and very kind of a complex film that really blends the survival horror with psychological exploration, and very kind of offering a unique narrative to the story, and that keeps viewers engaged. And the film was really good. I especially like the scenes that are shot in the forest where the characters are just running, and especially the Watchers scene, they are beautifully shot. I think the film is made on a budget of modest $30 million budget, so for that budget it's really good. But maybe I have expected more, because 30 million is a lot more budget. But yeah, it was really good. The creature design, makeup, overall the eerie feel the movie has, the kind of suspense mystery it builds, that really holds the audience very tight, because that's what the film need to do, especially in a horror thriller genre. But the watchers can be seen as a kind of a metaphor for, I think, unresolved trauma, as we discussed earlier. They uses the fear of the person's mind, or the fear they have, and Mina's escape from the forest might symbolize her attempt to leave her grief and fear behind. But the watcher's presence still, I think, suggests that the trauma never fully vanishes, and it lingers waiting for an opportunity to resurface. And the watcher's ability to mimic humans, to just act like them, imitate like humans, and their ties to memory challenge perception of what is real or what is not. The ending really leaves the viewer questioning whether the escape itself is genuine, or I think it's maybe another kind of manipulation, because it's really unclear because of the open-ended nature of the film. Interpretation can be drawn variously. I think this kind of very weird and strange and ambiguous ending might suggest that the cycle will continue and possibly trapping others in the forest horror. Thank you for watching Cinema Shadows, and subscribe for more such videos explanation. You will get it nearly weekly. Thank you.